Welcome to Hooftec Online. In this how-to video we'll be looking at the prices and lesions settings. These options affect the trim screen and what items we as a trimmer can specify as chargeable at the time of trimming. Let's start with lesions. By default, the app includes the most common cattle foot lesions as defined in the ICAR Claw Health Atlas. There are 21 lesion definitions specified in the app as standard. These include the most common lesions you will encounter in the UK. The existing lesions have limited editability. Some fields are read-only, as seen on screen. This is so that the ICAR codes cannot be altered. More lesions can be added as required using the Add Lesion button. Lesions are visible on the trim screen, so that we can select them while working. It's rare that we want to see all the available lesions on the trim screen. We can hide some of the less common ones from the trim screen by selecting the Hide or Unhide option on each lesion. We can then show the hidden lesions here, so that we can see all available options. We can also reorder the lesions to alter the order of appearance on the trim screen, putting the most common ones at the top and creating a familiar workflow for the most common hoof issues you encounter regularly. It's all about creating a workflow that's efficient and tailored to your preference. Let's have a look at the new order on the trim screen. First we can see it on the grid view, and then on the list view. This creates a streamlined flow that matches my style much better. Let's now take a look at the prices settings and how they affect the trim screen. There are several prices defined in the app by default. You may want to add to these over time. We can hide and show prices in the same way we saw for lesions. Prices that are hidden will not appear on the trim screen. We can also reorder prices in the same way as lesions, to affect the order that they render on the trim screen. You will notice that some prices are defined as trim options, indicated by the TO flag visible here, and by the trim option toggle on the price dialog. These prices appear in the trim option button as toggleable and chargeable prices. For example, we might add branding as a trim option, or dehorning. These trim options appear instead of trim on the invoice tally, so it's important to understand their use. Let's take a look at how these trim options appear on the trim screen. In this example we are using two default options, Trim, Cow and Trim, Bull. By tapping on the Type button, I can cycle through the available options. This determines the price used for the current animal. This could also be dehorning or branding, or any other chargeable service we may perform. Another option for prices is the Is Treatment setting. These prices appear in the list of available treatments that we want to select whilst we work. These are visible here, in the list view, and similarly on the grid view of the trim screen. We specify these prices by toggling the Is Treatment option on the price dialog. Let's take another look at that setting on the price settings screen. That's it for this how-to video. Thanks for watching.